right, as Democrats continue to resist DOGE, we're learning that some of these protests aren't as organic as some media claim. Reports indicating that left-wing organizers with funding ties to George Soros are fueling these protests in red states to target House Republicans. Joining us now is host of Fox Business is Making Money with Charles Payne. Charles, anything about that shock you?
No. I mean, it's so inorganic, and then it's what's really, I think, maybe the whole ironic part about it. Even with the backing of a multi-billionaire like Soros, they don't even feel strong or real. You know, if you're going to spend money, get a whole bunch of actors out there, right? It just they can't spark any real, true outrage out of all of this, and in part because I think a lot of people, whether you're Democrat, independent, apolitical, you start to see these stories, and the egregiousness of it, the outright theft of it all. The righteous self-indignation of the folks who say the pearl clutching. I think people are not buying it. I will say what they have had some success is the media with the finance, with the tariff scaring and the DOGE scaring, with consumer sentiment and confidence and things like that. But that's a sentiment gauge. Like, okay, things might get bad because every day in the news they say it will, but I'm still doing okay. So as far as like DOGE itself and the mission that it's on, I think the vast majority of Americans applaud it. Speaking
of DOGE, here was Elon Musk in that cabinet meeting, stood up and said this, defending it. Listen.
We cannot sustain as a country a $2 trillion deficit. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I'd like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. And obviously that can only be done with the support of everyone in this room.
And also on the confusion over the email that was sent to federal employees to name 5 things you did in the last week, he seemed to want to clarify that as well. Listen.
I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons? So if you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email. This is, you know, I think not a high bar. Literally try to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation.
Interesting moment considering some in that room, like the Defense Department, Pete Hegseth, they had put out an email saying that we have our own evaluations and saying there was not need to respond directly to that. But where does that leave things? Was it a pulse check?
In part, it is a pulse check, and you know, it's another one of these things where common sense prevails, right? We've all walked in government buildings, whether they're state, local, or federal, and we've wondered the same thing. And we see the person, but we're not sure if they're like, do you have are you hello? You know, it's a necessary process, and maybe miscommunication. You can see where Musk didn't want to step on any toes per se, but he was also pretty serious about what he's taken in terms of damage to his business. For instance, Tesla's stock. I think a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm going to turn my Tesla in. I'm not going to buy one this time. Stock's he's taken a pretty heavy financial hit. And of course, you know, anytime people threaten your life or the lives of your family, it's a hell of a sacrifice at this point that he's making, in my opinion.
What did you think of Howard Lutnick in the room addressing the deficit? And he proposed this gold card situation to pay down the debt. I'll get your reaction to this. Listen.
These companies can go and buy a gold card, and they can use it as a matter of recruitment. At the same time, the company is using that money to pay down debt. We're going to pay down a lot of debt with that.
200,000 of these gold green cards is $1 trillion to pay down our debt. And that's why the president is doing it.
So he says the queue is there's already 250,000, right? So this EB-5 program has been in place for a long time, and it's used a lot in places like New York City. That's why Lutnick probably is very, very familiar with it. But to really flesh it out and make it something, think about China. Think about how many billionaires and millionaires have tried to leave China in the last 10, 15 years. And China, and look at Vancouver, look at Toronto, look at these places where they go en masse. They've brought billions of dollars with them, billions of dollars. That money goes into local economies. It goes into starting businesses. If they want to come here anyway, why not charge them a fee? So if we can get to $1 trillion, that would be fantastic. I did reach for my calculator. That's all I'm saying. I didn't get a chance to use it because I had to come do this hit, but I did reach for it.
It was a lofty goal. Big
Listen,
promise.
the bottom line is we need to bring down the deficit, and they've got a lot of ideas, right? That's what, instead of an administration saying it's impossible, live with it, they're shooting out ideas and saying we're going to do this, 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 and this, and this, and when we add it all up, we think we'll get to the target.
I think we both got the bold print and color memo today because we're just rocking these colors. Charles, always great stuff.
Same.
That cabinet meeting.
It was phenomenal.
It was really
interesting. By the
interesting.
way, everyone was so sharp. Everyone was so sharp. They knew everything. Robert Kennedy Jr., he knew the stats. Everyone knew everything that was asked.